Hi Stampers, we're going to do the napkin fold card today. This is the project that I had prepped and ready for my April Stamp Club. There's another video actually that I've posted for the envelope to go with the card. So you'll probably see that on the YouTube channel as well. But what we're going to do in this video is the tutorial for the card itself, the napkin fold card. So this is one that's already done. I'm just going to slide off the belly band here, so you can take a look. It opens up like this. So that is what we're going to learn how to do today. Very exciting. So I'm going to put this aside, and we are going to start off with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I'm using the white, and we're going to need our Simply Scored. So let's put that down here. I've got the tabs at 3 and 9 inches. You're going to take your 12 by 12 sheet and you're going to score. I'm using the fine end. You're going to score at 3 and you're going to score at 9. You're going to turn your cardstock and you're going to do the same thing. 3 and 9. When you're done with your scoring board, and then what you want to do is you want to fold in on all of your score lines. All the way around the piece of cardstock. Then to make it a little bit easier, we're going to flip it over and we're going to fold the other way. That way all of your crease lines are really well done. It'll be easier to fold the rest of the card. Okay. So once you've got that done, we need to find the center of our piece of cardstock. So we are going to use the Stampin' Up cutter. This is a 12 by 12 sheet. So we are going to go to the 6-inch mark on the side of your cutter. You're going to put the arm down, and this has measurements as well. So we are going to go to 6 halfway down that cutting arm. So right about here. And we're going to place a mark right in the center of the paper. Once you've found your center, you're going to fold up the corners of your paper. This reminds me of those fortune tellers we used to make in school. I also found that if your mark might be a little bit off, you can line up your score lines, and that will help to show you that you're on the right track with everything matching up, because you're going to do all 4 of these. You're going to bring all of these to the center. You can use your bone folder if you like to make some really crisp folds. There we go. And now, once we've got this done, we're going to open this back up and we're going to start to fold those flat score lines again. But this time what you're going to do is you want this square to show up flat. So bear with me here. I'm going to push this bottom piece up, but instead of the score going this way, we're going to push it the opposite way. So this is going to fold in. This side's going to want to come up as well. And again, you're going to want to push those folds in the opposite direction so that you have this square come up to the top. Okay? Let's try that again. You're going to push the fold up. It's going to want to zigzag this way. You want to push it the opposite direction. Have the other side come up to meet it. And then get your square at the top. We're going to do that again because we want all 4 corners done this way. I want them to fold opposite. That one doesn't want to go, does it? Now once you've done this with all 4 of your corners, your paper should naturally want to fall into itself that way. Does that make sense? So all your squares are coming together. Okay? Then you've got all these flaps. You're going to fold these back out on themselves. So those squares become triangles. Pause the video, rewind the video anytime you need so you can go back and do these steps over again. It can be pretty tricky until you get the hang of it. So now I've got all my squares folded over. So you can see how we went from the 12 by 12 into our napkin fold card. And now we're going to cut the paper that we need in order to decorate this card. So I'm going to bring back that cutter that we have, and we are going to need squares of DSP. We are going to need one square that is cut at 5.5 by 5.5, and we're going to need two squares that are cut at 5.25 by 5.25. Let's take the larger square first, and you're going to cut on an angle. So you're going to match up the corners of your square into the groove of your cutter, and you end up with two triangles. You're then going to match up this line. You gotta love this cutter. It's got lines everywhere so you can make your cuts nice and exact. You're going to match up the spine of your triangle, and then you're going to come down to the tip and match that in the groove again, and you end up with two more triangles. So do that with the other side here. So you have 4 triangles out of your 5.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper. Your 5.25 sheets, you're going to get even more triangles out of. So we're going to do the big cut again so that we have half. We're going to do half again, just like we did with the bigger square. But then this time, we're going to do one more, so that you end up with 8 triangles. Let's do that again with this other piece, corner to corner for the first cut. I'm going to double these suckers up and see if I can get 2 out of it. And then I'm going to do that again. So I've got 16 little triangles, 4 larger triangles. And that's all the cutting we need for that. We are going to take our white cardstock again and our triangles. And this is where we decorate. So all of your small triangles are going to fit on the small pieces of your white cardstock. You can do them all the same. I've seen some of these cards where they use the same pattern on the DSP for every triangle they're decorating. I'm going to alternate what I've got because I think it might be a little overwhelming with all those polka dots. So I'm going to do the opposite side in here. And then I'm going to flip again and do my polka dots, just to give it a little extra something instead of polka dots everywhere. You can do whichever you like. Some of the DSP, this one's just from the Regal's paper pack. So it's all pretty much, you know, one color in the DSP, but some of the lovely DSPs that you can get from the main catalog or even the Occasions catalog, you've got 2 different sides, all with the same color pattern. So you can get some really beautiful cards out of DSP like that. This one's gonna be pretty monochromatic, but still lovely, I think. Let's get the last of our triangles on. snail upside down. It's not going to work very well that way, I don't think. I'm sure by now you can guess where our larger triangles are going to go. And again, I'm going to flip those so that we've got the other pattern. There we go. Starting to come together. Now that we've got all our DSP on there, you can see how when we fold it up, you're going to get a lovely pattern out of that. But that's not all. We've got to do the inside. So what we've got here, the Night of Navy is the color of DSP that I chose. So I'm just going to take some of the white cardstock. I've got a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of white. I'm going to layer that with a 5 3/4 piece of Night of Navy. Put some snail on the back of that, and that's going to go in the middle. And then you can put a greeting on there if you like. On this one, you can see how I chose some of the stamp sets from the occasion. When I think of you, I can't stop smiling. Love you. Just something quick and simple. I would think there's a lot of pattern around the edge, so I think you'd want to keep it pretty simple on the inside, and that still gives you room to write a personalized greeting. So you can do that here. And then the next what we're going to do is, this is pretty much it for the card, unless you're going to be stamping on it, if you want to put an image or two on there. So what we want to do is make the belly band that's going to help to close that. So what I did, we have two pieces of paper, one of the DSP, one of the white cardstock. They're both 12 inches. Your white is 2 inches. This one's a little less than 1 3/4. I just used the scrap that was left over from when I was done cutting my triangles. So I cut my 5 1/4, my smaller squares first, then I cut my 5 1/2, and this strip was left over. So I figured, you know what, instead of cutting another big long strip, this is perfectly fine for me. I don't mind the width of that with the white showing through. So that's what I used. And where we've got a lot of the dots, I don't know if you can see, yeah, where we've got a lot of the polka dots there, I'm going to do the other side on the white. So get some snail on that polka dot side. There we go. And with the 12 by 12, our card ends up being right around 6 by 6. If it's not spot on, it's pretty darn close to it. So the 12 by 12 isn't going to come around fully as a belly band across your card. So what I did was I just placed my card on there, brought this around. You could measure it. I'm sure you could measure it. That kind of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? Make this meet up in the middle. So you're going to have a little bit of a gap there. Okay. So there we go. So we've got our belly band. And then what I did was I used dimensionals because they were just easier to grab than trying to snail the edges. So I'm just going to put a dimensional here and a dimensional here. And then what I did was using the Window Frames collection, the framelets. I cut out on the Big Shot a Night of Navy and a white. So all I'm going to do is center this on my card to close it up. And again, you could stamp a greeting on here. The Friendship Preserves is the stamp set that matches these framelets, so you could always use one of those. Or on the belly band for the purple card that I was showing you, the Elegant Eggplant, I used the Gorgeous Grunge in the background, and then one of the stamp sets. Let me grab that set that I used at Claire. Love You to the Moon, from the Occasions catalog that's out right now. So I use that guy on the front. So you can use whatever you like to adorn the front of your card. And then if that's not quite in the middle, you can just scooch that over a bit. So there you have it, the Napkin Fold Card. There's the purple one that I had in the beginning. Some greetings on the inside. fold that up, and then the belly band goes around it. I hope you enjoyed April's club projects. Hopefully the instructions were easy to follow. Leave some comments, likes, shares. Let me know how the video went, if it was easy to follow, if the audio was okay. I'd love some feedback from you guys. Happy stamping. I hope to see some of your creations for the napkin fold card. Happy stamping!